Hello, and welcome to the Computing Conversations column. This column is from the August 2015 issue of IEEE Computer and is titled Anil Jain, 25 Years of Biometric Recognition. There is supporting video material for this column that you can find in the IEEE Computer Society YouTube channel or in the IEEE Digital Library. I'm the editor of the column, and I'm Charles Severance from the University of Michigan. Today we don't think twice about swiping our finger to unlock a cell phone or walking into public areas where security cameras are performing real-time face recognition. If you turn on the television, you'll often see biometric technologies such as fingerprint matching and facial recognition being used to solve crimes. The speed, memory, and sensors of today's computers make it feasible to use biometrics on a large scale. But it's taken decades of research to understand and build reliable and verifiable algorithms and techniques that underpin this high-stakes space. I spoke with computer scientist and Michigan State University professor Anil Jain about the early days of biometrics and the field's future. In the 1980s and 1990s, when mainframes were less powerful than today's wristwatches, there was a lot of focus developing efficient algorithms for pattern recognition and image processing. For pattern recognition to evolve into biometrics, significantly more computing power was needed for real-time recognition.
It just sort of happened, the serendipity, that in 1990, somebody called me from Washington, D.C. and said, you do good image processing work, and the NSA has designed or funded the development of FPGA processor, and we can give you this FPGA processing board, which is attached to a Sun, at that time, 350 workstation, and we can give you some money. Can you find some civilian application of this?
Although the FPGA's computational model was much simpler than that of general-purpose computers, it was well suited to many basic low-level image processing algorithms like convolution, smoothing, edge detection, and local filtering, as well as high-level operations such as point matching. But once the algorithms were ported to the Splash, the question arose which application area to target.
For the high level, what could we do? Well, point matching is a generic computer vision operation. If you do stereo correspondence, you have left image, right image, and you take some landmarks in the two images and align them, and then estimate the depth. So we said, well, what will be the application of it? And this is where we just sort of said, well, fingerprint, because fingerprint matching is essentially a point matching operation.
The complete solution to fingerprint matching involved a point matching algorithm combined with low-level filtering operations to enhance fingerprint images that are often of low quality and a bit blurred when captured. For Anil, an interest in image processing evolved into a 25-year interest in fingerprint recognition. It's rewarding when your latest research finds its way into the mainstream media.
If you watch any crime show on the TV these days, CSI or anything, they will show you computer extracting the minutiae points from a fingerprint and doing the matching.
But if you watch those shows, you know that the current generation of fingerprint technology is never enough to solve the crime. There's always the next innovation, both on TV and in research.
And I think one of the best things which we have done is called texture-based fingerprint matching. Traditionally, fingerprint matching is based on points. But what happens if the fingerprint image does not have sufficient number of points, or the image quality is poor, that we cannot extract sufficient number of points? That's when you need to look at the texture, image texture formed by the ridges and valleys which characterize a fingerprint.
In 1998, one of Anil's graduate students, Sahil Prabhakar, came up with a bank of filters that captured the texture characteristics of a fingerprint that could be used for fingerprint matching. 17 years later, these texture mapping algorithms are finding their purpose.
Texture matching is what is used in the small sensors embedded, fingerprint sensors embedded in mobile phones. In order to have a small footprint of the fingerprint sensor which are embedded in mobile phone, and to reduce the cost, these sensors or fingerprint readers are about 80 pixels by 80 pixels. Traditionally, fingerprint sensors are 512 by 512 images of that size. So an 80 by 80 image captures only a small part of the fingerprint, not the whole fingerprint. And so if you capture only a small part of the fingerprint, the number of minutiae points in it is only maybe 4 or 5, and that's not enough to establish a correspondence between two different fingerprint impressions. So this is where the texture information is used.
Although many research results from biometrics field are widely used in authentication systems ranging from unlocking a mobile phone to large-scale national identification programs, there are still many new areas to explore. As more sensors are embedded in mobile devices, novel approaches to continuously authenticate a device's owner become possible.
The traditional model of authentication or security for mobile space or any login which you do is log in once and then use it forever. But that was sort of revolved around the desktop computers. Now if you have a mobile phone, it's easily accessible by other people. So this notion of authenticate once and use forever is really not appropriate for higher levels of security. So that's why we have this nuisance built into the system where you unlock the phone, and after 5 minutes of not using it, you have to keep unlocking again and again. And a typical person may unlock a phone 40 or 50 times a day. Now, you are spending more time with the phone these days than with any other device. So why doesn't the device learn who you are based on your behavioral patterns, based on how you swipe the screen, based on how you hold it, GPS, and even the camera can turn on once in a while to capture your partial face image.
Another important research area is the uniqueness of your biometric traits, like your fingerprint, face, or iris.
So if I have a 10-digit key or 10-digit PIN, I know how many distinct identities I can have, 10 to the power 10 or so. But can we say the same thing about, what can we say about fingerprint? How many unique identities can it discriminate? In principle, every finger has a different pattern on it. So there are 7 billion people, approximately 7 billion people living on the earth right now. So there are 70, assuming each one has 10 fingers, there are 70 billion fingers. So in principle, we should be able to discriminate, 70 billion individuals using this. But it doesn't work quite this way, because what is on the finger is maybe quite different from the impression of the finger which you use, or the image which you obtain to do the recognition.
A fundamental premise of any biometric trait is its persistence. Will a fingerprint or iris pattern change over time?
We know that the people age, so the face characteristics changes over time. And it is indeed true that state-of-the-art face recognition systems start falling apart when the age separation between two images of the same person exceeds about 10 years or so. Okay. But in the case of fingerprint and iris, we have been led to believe that they last forever.
Because Anil has worked with law enforcement officials for more than 15 years on a wide range of research questions, they sometimes come to him with new questions, ideas, and data to analyze.
Just recently, last year, we conducted a study of about 20,000 individuals. And the data came from Michigan State Police, because they are the ones who often encounter the same person again and again. And over a 15-year period, these 20,000 or so individuals had been arrested multiple times. So we have their fingerprint impressions on multiple encounters with the police. And we showed scientifically, using a multi-level statistical models, that fingerprint accuracy over this time period does not degrade.
But what happens if somebody steals data that contains your biometric trait?
The template or the representation of the fingerprint which is stored in the databases, whether it's in your mobile phone or whether it's in your local bank, how do we secure it so that that even if it is stolen, it cannot be used, or you can reissue a representation? That is, it's like a type of a credit card number which can be revoked, and then you issue a new credit card number. That is, I collect your fingerprint, but I never use the original version of it. I use some transformed version of it.
Biometrics is a fascinating and continuously evolving application area for computing technology. When biometric data is used in critical situations, like solving high-profile crimes or authenticating large financial transactions, it's important to have solid research that ensures the reliability and accuracy of these biometric recognition algorithms. This column is from the August 2015 issue of IEEE Computer and is titled Anil Jain, 25 Years of Biometric Recognition. There is supporting video material for this column that you can find in the IEEE Computer Society YouTube channel or in the IEEE Digital Library. I'm the editor of the column, and I'm Charles Severance from the University of Michigan.